Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another edition of Find Ways to Win. I must admit to you guys, I've sorely have missed you. Sorely have missed doing these broadcasts. It's been a while since I've been on here, but back right now with hopefully with another positive and informative influences messages on your life. The title of this stream is called "A Pure Heart Sees the Good in Others." A pure heart sees the good in others. Now, notice I didn't say it doesn't see the bad. It often a pure heart does see the bad, but they focus more on the good. People of this nature, they look for ways that they can really be a blessing to people. They see behind the pain. They see behind maybe the attitudes or their different speech, or they look at a person far as how they're processing things at the moment could not necessarily be the true person. They are people of pure motive. They give with a sincerity of motive. They give with true intentions. They don't look to take advantage. Everything they put their hands to it, everything they speak into a person's life or give to a person's life because that's truly who they are. They want to be an instrument for change, positive change, lifelong. They want to make an impact, and many a times they don't really care about the credit. They're people who look to alleviate suffering, people who look to lift up bowed heads and put a smile on a broken face and put a dance in feet that long have stopped moving and give vision back and give inspiration back and give courage back. These people are sorely needed in lives. If you're one of those individual who is like that, God bless you. If you're one of those individuals who have encountered people like that, you know what an incredible impact, an incredible breath of fresh air they can be far as to you, and it can be a lifelong, lasting effect. They seem to be people with pure hearts, pure motives. They seem to be touched by God in areas of kindness, in areas of love, in areas of encouragement, in areas of giving, in areas of help and support. They just simply love to do what they do. They just simply love people. They want the best for people. Sometimes they want the best for people even more so than they want it for themselves. It seems like they get energy just by being kind to people. And you know what? It's not an act. It's not something they have to do a Facebook post or post something on Instagram to show them helping people. A lot of times, the people of this that stature, this nature, they would choose to remain anonymous. What they do, they do, and they don't believe anybody that needs to have the credit. Certainly not them. And if anything, they're going to give the credit. They're going to give the credit to God. Are we born? Are people born with this attributes? Yes. Can this attribute be developed? Yes. Should we seek to develop and cultivate a pure heart? Yes. Listen, there is enough drudgery, there's enough sorrow, there's enough anger and bitterness and ill methods and trifleness running around in this world. This world needs these individuals who are going to inject kindness and peace and truth into it. This world is actually hurting, and a lot of people out there are hurting who are in this world. They need people to talk to them, to encourage them, to give them a helping hand when they can't help themselves. They need people who to do these things without feeling that they have to give something back to them, or that they owe someone, or that they just can't be themselves and things. That just, if you're going to give like that, if you're going to give necessarily to get from a person because you're giving, I submit to you, you don't have a pure heart. You don't have right motives to that. You're just giving to get. Are those giving to get? Can it be wrong in all circumstances? No. If you're going to work and you expect to earn a paycheck and you give your time and your labor, of course you're giving of your time to get. I'm talking about when you are sincerely just showing kindness. You are showing attributes of extreme encouragement, extreme understanding to people. You're speaking the right words at the right time. You don't necessarily give to get back. You're getting back is actually seeing that person being uplifted, being taken out of that degradation, being restored whole, being put back on a path of wholeness and creativity, of wellness, of soundness. So many people that have a complaint that they don't have anyone to listen to. There's a difference between being listened to and being heard. A huge difference. Many people don't understand this. Let me clarify it a little bit. When anyone can listen to someone. Often people listen to someone with the intentions of waiting for a break to interject their point of view in the situation. But when you hear someone, when you really hear someone, there's not really necessarily many. There's not really necessary for many words at all. You're just allowing that person to pour out their heart, pour out their soul without judgment, without condemnation, and just let them empty themselves. And then if they asked you what you think, if they asked you, do you have opinion, then and only then should you interject in it. Some people don't want you to solve their issues. They already know what the issues are, but they do want to unburden their souls. They do want to be able to empty that out of their lives, and they just want someone to hear them. Often there's a statement that says, "Do you feel me? Are you hearing me? Are you recognize what I'm saying?" Those are statements saying, "Do you hear me? Are you on one chord with me? Are you on the same vibe with me and things?" Sometimes people need more than just encouraging words. Sometimes people actually need a helping hand. So in the season that we're in, especially when we get down to the holiday season, we celebrate different customs in this country that I'm born and raised in, the United States. We have many holidays and things, that's particularly towards the end of the year. We go into our Christmas holiday season, New Year's. There are a lot of people who exchange gifts and families get together. I like in that time from Thanksgiving on down to the New Year. But many people don't have families. Many people don't have a lot of the stuff that others take for granted. But for instance, the people. Some people don't have places to stay. Some people don't have enough food in the cupboard. Some people don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. They're just praying for stability. They're just praying. They're just praying for that God will send them some type of help. And then meanwhile, you get other people. They're sitting up there complaining. Maybe they say their apartment is too small, or maybe they say their car is not up to date, or it's not in season. Maybe the clothes on their back, they're too old, or they only have like three pairs of shoes, where they want 10 or 15, and they're only making so much money on the jobs, and so that they think they should get more, or the house has a draft, or any number of things, or the kids are not acting right, any number of things. Do you know there are people who are sleeping under bridges right now, wish they had your problems? Do you know there are people who would praise God for the so-called bad circumstances you're complaining about, and you're being a child about, and you're whining about, and doing all this foolish things? You have got to learn how to be thankful, and a pure heart is thankful. A pure heart knows it can be worse. A pure heart has often experienced worse. That's why people like that are so much able to give. That's why they're able to freely give, sometimes even their last, because people who operate on this plane, they know that God is their source. They know that God will give them back what they give out. Do they give it back for God to give it back to them? Not necessarily so, but we are attuned to this principle. If I pour out, there's nothing that my heart doesn't lead me to do for a person, but provided with sincere motives, sincere heart, that God the Father is not going to give back to me in my need, and even in not in my need. He's going to keep pouring it into me as I keep giving it out. Be a blessing to people. Learn how to to see people in a new light. Learn how to look at people, not necessarily always trying to run the game on you and always trying to get over you. I'm not saying don't look out for those things, and so you have to use discernment, but understand, you can be the blessing to someone to someone who they so desperately need, especially in different times of their lives. You never know what season that person is in. Now, this is something that goes. This is something that can operate all the year round. I don't want to point out a special time period. Maybe someone's birthday. Maybe it's a holiday. Maybe it's a celebration. For any number of things, it doesn't cost anything to be kind to people. It doesn't burden you to be forgiving to people, to be a blessing to people. Often people will say, "Well, I'll pray for you." And those things are good, but I've learned over the course of my life is that a lot of times I like to meet the need first. I like to meet the need through maybe some monetary gift or buying bag of groceries. These things don't really cost me much, or doing something to meet the needs. Then we can start with the praying. Then we can start with that. I like to show some action to try to alleviate that pain. Am I always successful? Can I do it for everyone? No, but that one person that you do it for, it makes all the difference in their lives. If you're going about this earth realm, walking out your journey. You're going out, ladies and gentlemen. Your goal is to be a blessing to people. Your goal is to be an inspiration to people. Your goal is to make people's lives better. It can't always be about you. If you got a surplus of things, it doesn't cost you anything to sow that into life of someone who doesn't have anything. You don't never know how much greater seed that could render not only in their lives, but it can come back to you. Because I can promise you, there's nothing good that you're going to do for others that is going to not going to come back to you. On the other hand, there's nothing bad you're going to do to others that's not going to come back to you. God does not believe in being debt to any man. His principle is simply clear. What you sow, therefore shall you reap. So should we be sowing goodness? Should we be sowing kindness? Should we be building up people? Should we be seeing the good in people? People's past, although it can be held against them, and although if things can happen beyond their faults, or a lot of stuff their fault, the past is the past. What really can you do about it? To judge someone by their past and to keep looking at them by their past is really very foolish, and it's very demonic. I mean, they can't go back and undo it. I mean, we all have things in our past that we would like to undo. We've all have choices that we have made. We've all caused destruction to other people, and have people cause destruction to us. We've all made decisions that we wish to take back. What good does it do to keep brooding over these things? What good does it do to keep mulling over? What good does it to keep punishing yourself, or other people, allowing other people to punish you simply because of something that happened, something that happened in the past? All you have is the now. I don't even believe you have the future. You're not there yet. All you live is in the moment of the now. So while there's breath in your body now, determine to be a person who is pure in heart, a person that sows good, a person that believes the good for others, a person that believes good. There is good in others. Learn sometimes to ignore the sharp words. Learn sometimes to ignore the nonchalant gestures. Learn sometimes to ignore the aloofness in people. You don't know what they're processing. You don't know what they're having to deal with. You don't know what trauma they're suffering, or anything else like that. But your job is to lead them to kindness. Your job is to be something different from what they have experienced. Now, if they need more professional help, yeah, obviously you want to encourage them to get it. But you can be the help wherever you are. You can be a sower of good wherever you are. That's what the pure in heart does. That's what people like that do. People are very, 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 very much need people who are pure in heart in their lives. they can make the difference. They can make the game changer. Even God looks on upon the pure in heart and different. He said, the pure in heart shall see God. What does that mean? The pure in heart shall see God. Maybe it's a physical representation of Him. I cannot not leave that off the table. I think the pure in heart is going to see God show up in their lives more so than anyone else. I think the pure in heart is gonna receive the favor and intervention of God more so in their lives to empower them and to be a blessing to them more so than anyone else. One of the things I believe that's going to be a fact because he's gonna pour out into them so they can be a more of a blessing to others. God has infinite resources. He has infinite abundance and things like that. He's just looking for the right channel, the right person, the right instrument to funnel it through. You want to be an instrument that God can pour His blessings, pour His grace to, and to pour out to others. It's not just for you. It's not like you take everything that He gives to you and just keep it for yourself and your family. No, He gives it to you for you to pour out, for you to be a channel to other people. And once you understand that it's Him that gives you everything, and that that He's allowed you to be a blessing to other people, and that it comes by His grace on your life, that's going to keep you humble, which is another thing the pure in heart is. They are humble people. They are humble. They are thankful. They have pure motives. They see the good in others. Are not these things vital to our society now? Are not these things so vital to where we live and where we are right now? Do these things ever go out of style? Do they ever get old? Do they ever do they ever have a place that people say we don't want this anymore? We want to be warlike. We want to be warlike. We want to be cruel. We want to hold animosity. We want to hold unforgiveness to people. Well, unfortunately, there are some people in the world like that. You just stay the heck away from them. The pure in heart, just because you're pure in heart, you're not obligated to give to everyone. You're not obligated to sow your gift into everyone. Particularly, you want to be led in order to who to sow, to who to. Now, what do I mean sow? Who to pour your life into? Who to pour your encouragement into? If you're in dealing with someone who is cantankerous, who has a wicked spirit, a wicked heart, and by the words and deeds, you're not necessarily going to be drawn to that. You're not necessarily owe them anything. You can't cast your pearls before swine and still expect them to be shiny pearls. Some people you just stay the heck away from. Some people you don't involve in their lives, and you definitely don't let them be involved in your life. As there are pure in hearts, there's also people who are demonic in heart, who are evil in heart. Stay away from them. Don't allow them. Don't take anything from them. Because everything with them always comes with a catch to it, and so you got to learn how to identify that. But I'm talking about people who God has placed on your heart, or who your heart gravitates towards to, and then you're just led, hey, I need to help that person. I need to do something with this family. I need to do something. They're hungry. I got some money in my pocket. What is an $8, $10 sandwich going to cost me? But to them, it's going to make all the things in the world. And another thing that the pure in heart does, and I'll say this is the final thing, one of the final things, should I say, they always give the glory to God. It's okay for people when you do things for people and then to say thank you. That's a form of gratitude. And let's don't get religious here. Let's don't turn this thing upside on his head. Say no. I'm nothing. I'm me. Well, you are something. God used you as the instrument to help that person. But the person who is pure in heart, they're going to reflect the glory to God. They're going to give it back to God, because you know what? It's quite simple. And God wouldn't have brought them in that situation at the right time, that person was there. Had God wouldn't have gave them the ability to earn the resources they're able to give away, along with the breath in their body. If God wouldn't have placed that person on that man or woman's spirit, they would have never gave to that individual. So there is no such thing as luck. I'm very leery of that word luck. I really don't put I don't put faith in any people who talk in the terms of luck. There are divine appointments, and there are opportunities that you are called to seize, and there are opportunities that sometimes they don't last forever. Sometimes they come in a moment of time, and you have to have the guts enough to seize it. Seize it at the right time. Your life is blessed, and the other person's life is blessed. Ignore it, delay it, and there's going to be repercussions far as for that. Now, maybe not in this world, but in the world to come. There's always going to be a consequences from not moving. Move, give with an impure motive. Give with a selfish motive. Hey, that person's going to benefit from the gift you gave, but you're not. You're not. God is not obligated to give you anything back for that, and society looks down upon that. No, people want to engage with people who are sincere and who are in truth. People who really care about them. Family doesn't have to be your blood. Family does not have to be your blood. My grandfather, Arthur Stanford, taught me many, many years ago. Now, I wish he was here now. He told me, "Mama, brother, sister, daddy, that's just the name. It's the person that's filling the role." I say again, mama, brother, sister, daddy, that's just the name. It's the person that's filling the role. And if you're that person filling that role and that need and that person's and that individual's life at the moment, believe me, you are closer than family. A friend who is close by is better than a brother far off. And these are principles that you learn. But do we study the how to become impure in heart? I think it's a gift. I think it's not to be studied. I think it's to be developed. I think it's a part of your essence, who you are, truly who you are. As long as I've been alive, I've always had an affinity to give. I'm just a man. I can't stand to see other people suffer. I can't stand to see people do without special resource, or they're in areas of if they have areas where they're sick in the body. I believe in praying. I believe in trying to do things right to alleviate the suffering. If they're discouraged, I believe in speaking kind words. If they need some food, or they need a need met, I calculate and say, can I take this on? Lord, are you giving me the green light? Or other words, the green light is peace in my heart to help this person. I've had a lot of instances in my life that has happened to me, and even as a child to an elder right now, it hasn't went away. It hasn't went away. Sometimes I've gotten angry at myself, like, oh, you're always giving, you're always helping others for yourself. Why are you so kind? Why are you so good? Why are you seem to think you always got to help everybody at yourself? Sometimes I've been taken advantage of, but from doing that. But my heart was pure. It don't make a difference if theirs wasn't, mine wasn't. And I try to run away from that, but I never could leave it. It's a part of my fiber. It's a part of my being. Have I got more wiser with and more discernment with who I try to sow in? Absolutely. But the thing is, it's never left me. That is who I am. And people who are pure in heart, that's who they are. Those are people that have two apples and they're going to give you one because you say you was hungry. You know, those are people, who have come from very bad circumstances. Maybe they're sleeping on the bridge, and they're going to share their blankets with you. Let me tell you something. To give soup and blankets and coats to people up on the bridge, in particular Atlanta, Georgia. You listen to some of their stories, and you're just maybe a couple mishaps from being in the exact same position, of divorce, or something happened. Someone gave them something, and it turned to be a bad drug, and it just put them in that position. And you listen to the intelligence of them, you listen to the way they speak, and you listen to how they communicate. And some of them can sing or draw or do computer coding in a way to put the best to shame right now, but they're out there considered the outcasts of society. But they're fresh in blood just like you and I. And they need encouragement right there. They don't need anybody to go up under the bridge. And when I went up under there along with the ministerial team, that we walked in there along with my ex-wife. But we used to go up under there. I didn't ask them, man, how did you get here? I didn't ask them, what are you doing in here? I didn't ask them, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and go get a job. Man, all I know was freezing out there. It was freezing cold, and they had cities that they made up under there. My job was to get them soup, hot soup, get them blankets, and even one case I remember taking off a coat that I loved a lot, and I gave it to someone. But my rationale was thinking, hey, I could go down in the car. I know I got a couple other coats at the house, but this is a favorite coat of mine. But this guy don't have nothing, and it's freezing out there. God gave me several coats, much greater than that. I wasn't doing it for that. I was just wanting to alleviate the man's suffering. It was cold out. See, I didn't think of that term. I just wanted to alleviate the suffering, and perhaps I did made a difference in that man's life. I like to think of it. Haven't seen him in probably a couple decades since then, but I still think about him. I still think about that. But do I miss the coat? No, because the smile and appreciation of what that man gave me back, and the look in his eyes, was worth more than that coat ever could have been. What am I saying? You know what? Get people, let your life be one of helps. Let your life be one of grace. Let people be happy when they hear your name. Let people be happy when they see you walking towards them. Be a difference. Be someone who really expounds to make a difference in people's lives. Too many other people are beating people down and discouraging people and humiliating and trying to be bullies and all that kind of stuff. Don't be like one of those fools. No, be someone that when people hear your name, it's a smile on their face. When people see your face, it's an encouragement. When people think of you, that's a good man, that's a good woman. That's a man, that's a woman that helps people. They love people. Leave that person alone, or don't touch that person. Don't touch that person right there, because God has His hand on him or her. They're a giver. They're light in the dark world. Do not you dare touch them. You will be respected. But yet sometimes you will feel used, but you will find that you cannot hardly turn that gift off, because that's what God has deposited in you. Ladies and gentlemen, we certainly appreciate you guys for tuning in to another edition of Find Ways to Win. I definitely ask you to subscribe to this channel if you found worthy content. Definitely appreciate the people who have subscribed. Definitely appreciate the people who have shown me support since I first started this, going on 3 years now. I appreciate you guys so much. We try to make content over here that's going to make a difference in your life. If I was to get on some other topics that I see kind of popular on the internet, stuff like that, I would have more subscribers. But you know what? It's enough trash out there, man. It's enough, trashing people, should I say? It's enough people out there beating other people down and saying what they got and talking about how they jetting off to the set. But when you get down to the real part of life, people just want to feel like they are a human being. Those people are just as important as the CEO of a company. They are flesh and blood and human being. They want to make it. They want to feel like they matter to someone, that they have a place in this world where they matter, that someone loves them, that someone is showing kindness and respect to them. Be that person. It's not always inside of a church or a mosque or a synagogue. The biggest ministry is outside of those places of worship. I've always done my biggest work, as far as with dealing with people outside religious organizations. Because you gotta take the guy outside of the walls, man. It's easy for everybody to be blessing. Hello, brother, we love you, and showing your gifts and giving your gifts. When you're in religious institutions, when you're in church, when you're in mosques, when you're in synagogue. What happens when you're on the street? Can you live that on the street? Can you take it out there? Can you transform, the so-called belief that you have, in a controlled environment? Can you put it in place in the street? Or do you just walk by and forget all about what you have been taught and what all you heard? Or are you just a card carrying a member of an association, but you don't have any good works? You don't have any concern about people. You to just get yours, get theirs, and they have to get theirs just like I got mine. Forgetting the fact that someone helped you get where you are. No, but that's another video on another season. You know, God bless you all. So much appreciated. Ruby and Two Visions. Hey, thank you guys. These have been two of my supporters since I started. And I'm so grateful for them. But you guys, you know, we're getting ready to go in another time period in our lives. You know, pretty soon. You know, this year is almost gone. You know, so time's winding down. Time is getting on. Let's be more effective. Let's be more effective at helping others. Let's be more effective in our motives. Let's be a calmer, rational version of ourselves. Let's be better. Let's be better for ourselves. Let's be better for others. Let's make a difference. You know, let's make a difference. Let's go out there and sow good in the world. You know, just so good in the world, and let that catch on, and let that take root in other people's lives. Be the one who starts the flame. You know, try to alleviate suffering, and don't try to alleviate suffering. Alleviate suffering in other people. Remember, now that remember, the person you help, that can make all the difference in the world. You can't worry about the. You can't worry about the. For an analogy, you can't worry about all the starfishes on the beach, millions and millions of them. You know, and they're desperately trying to get back to that water. They're stranded on there. You can't worry about the ones who you didn't throw in the water. You got to be concerned about the one you help. There's always going to be needs out there. There's always going to be things out there. But, you know, but do your part. Allow other people to do their part. But you know what you're supposed to do, you do that. Hey, God bless you guys all. We appreciate it. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share button. And please leave comments. I really relish the comments. I look forward to that, to see what we can do to make things better. After all, you know, I'm still growing with this. I'm still growing as a person, you know, but trying to learn how to communicate better and stuff. Even though I've been in sales and marketing for 30 years, you know, it's always things I can do better. You know, it's always things I can improve about myself, or and bring some topics that you guys may want to hear more about. Hey, I like listening to my audience, and you know, and I value my audience. So you guys have a wonder day. Make things happen for good for other people. Make things happen for good for yourself.